So this is the Suzuki Intruder 1500 carburetor, and we are going to separate them and get the old throttle shaft seals out. As you can see, I already removed 2 screws. The thing is, I already taken them apart, examined the throttle shaft seals. They were, well, all 4 of them are essentially gone, so there's nothing we can do about that. Just replace these seals. So the first thing we have to do is separate the things. Let's begin with the bracketry. You have a bolt here and a bolt there, and you also have the other connecting hardware, the choke. Let's get those out of the way. These are all JIS screws. You can see the little dot on the top. At the moment it's pointing down. That means it's a JIS. So first of all, we remove this. They have these little things on the outside. Anti-friction nylon washers or something. Okay, put that to one side. So that is removed. The other thing that keeps them together is this and that, those long bolts that go across the whole assembly. Everything is just hand tight because, like I said, I've taken them apart. That's why screws are missing on the front. I just slapped them back together so I can show you how they're supposed to come apart. So we unscrew this one. There is this little spacer. Come on, there we are. So that is the bottom one. The other one has a nut on the end, so we pop that one off, and this one just slides out. And again, this one has an aluminium spacer in the center as well, which is going to fall. So there it is. Now here comes the tricky part. Well, it will be way more tricky when you try to assemble it. I just pop this plate off. The other one, because this one has another one on this side, that's where the bolt comes through and the nut is threaded on. That stays. We don't need to remove that. So the tricky part is this. Let me just focus on that. The synchronizing screw, because as you can see, the carbs are already moving, and when you try to assemble the whole thing, you have to put the spring back. Well, sorry, the tab between the two jobbies. One, the spring has to be on the bottom and the adjustable bit on the top. And well, yeah, that's a tricky one, but I can show you how it's done. But first of all, we need to separate the carbs, and that is done by just, well, now we just have to wiggle them apart gently, like so. Here we are. So that's the spring between the two, and that is the I think that's the rear carb, yes, and that's the front carb. This one has the throttle position sensor on it. Now this has no retention, this shaft. With this one, you have this nut right here that you need to undo. That's a size 12, a metric 12. That's what we need there. Now the thing is, with this one especially, the nut can be quite tight on that shaft, so it can be frozen up, and it also has a spring washer behind it, so it is on it rather well. Now this throttle shaft is a very soft, well, not very soft, but it's a fairly soft material. It's iron, and it has these thin metal sheets where the slot is that hold the butterfly plate, and they can twist easily. So I wouldn't recommend popping a long spanner on it or a ratchet with a handle and crack it loose. Try to use one of these things, these electric cordless battery operated impact screwdrivers or impact guns. Hold this end with a rag or something and just give it a go with the machinery. And I already loosened this, so this should be easy. No, it's not easy. The fucking thing is tight again. So yeah, rattle gun. And I don't have a rag. I do, sorry. Actually I do, so I can hold on to this because that is going to shake about and it is fairly sharp sometimes. So put this thing on. And this way it gets small impacts, but a lot of them, so it will rattle the nut off. And I think the nut is somewhere around here, just to make sure I keep everything in. Yeah, there it is. So there's the nut, there's the spring washer. Can I turn the lights on? Yeah, there we go. There's the spring washer, and there's this metal tab that keeps the shaft in place, apart from the plate, of course. So these are off. We need to pull this thing off. Problem is, with the camera around my neck, it's very difficult to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to gently give it a pry. There we go. Here it is. Now behind that there's this plastic washer. Remember what you take off from where. So there we go. There's the end of the shaft, and once the plate is pulled out, the shaft will come out like so. But before we get to that, we have to talk about the little screws that hold the throttle plates, because those are fairly soft and delicate and you don't want to mess them up. These are JIS number 2s, and on the other side, let me grab one of the ones that are already out or removed. Not sure if I can focus on it. The ends are peened, so they won't unthread by themselves, and that is why we have to be careful and gentle with these screws, because they weren't intended to, you know, come out. Upon reassembly, use blue Loctite or something along those lines. You don't need a red Loctite or anything aggressive like so, or aggressive like that, but you need a solid thread locker. So to get these out, get a screwdriver that JIS number 2, or a Phillips that you shaped with a file a little bit, so it sits well in that. Oh Jesus, with this focus thing. So yeah, something that sits very well in the head of the screw, and slowly apply pressure with your hand and turn it slowly. Keep applying pressure because the screw is soft and it has that anti-loosening thing, the peening on the other side. Oh, that fell in, never mind. I can't see what I'm doing. Fucking camera. Right, so carry on. Slowly applying pressure. And here we are. The other screw is out as well. And now, as you can see, the throttle plate is free to come out. And just reach in with your fingers and pull it out. There we go. So there's our throttle plate. And like I said, this side has no retention apart from this. So it just comes out. Now the throttle shaft seals are in these, let me zoom in these little holes, or in these little sockets, and They just come out like that. They look like fork springs. Well, sorry, fork seals. That's the word I was looking for. One end has a groove, the other end is solid. Now, unlike fork seals, which were designed to keep shit in, this is designed to keep stuff out. So with fork seals, that's how you assemble them, with the closed end facing out. With these, the closed end has to face in, because the atmospheric pressure on the outside world, in the outside world, will apply atmospheric pressure on the seal, and that is going to spread the inner and the outer lip. So that's how it is going to seal. So pick these things out. Sorry, got to refocus because it is not automatic. This one, this side is the throttle position sensor side. This one also has that little aluminium bushing in the center and that rubber additional seal that protects the TPS sensor from getting anything in it. And here's the second shaft seal. So this carb is ready for the new seals. Of course, I would recommend getting one of these, what do you call them, Q-tips? I think Q-tips. Put some polishing cream on it and clean the channels or the bearings or the bushes where these things rotate. Same thing goes for these surfaces, just to make sure that nothing will eat your new throttle shaft seals. Now with this one, because that's the other one that we still have to get out of there, we pull the spring and pull the shaft out, and the same way, oh, is it stuck? Yeah, it's stuck on it. So the same way the seal is in that little socket, and that should seal against that surface. But as you can see, it is so loose now, it moves very easily and can just of course when you need it, it won't fall off. But I did one of those flashlight tests. I put an LED flashlight behind it. I could see the little circle of light between this and the shaft. So yeah, those are worn, and that's how you replace them.